Hello, wonderful students, and welcome back to English with Annette. Do you know how to use yourself, himself, herself, themselves correctly? If not, you're not alone. This can be rather confusing, so let's clarify this. If you like this video, please subscribe and remember to ring the bell so you don't miss out on new videos. If you have an idea for a video that you would like to see on this channel, please leave me a comment below. Oh, and be generous. Share the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you. In today's video, I will start off by showing you what the 9 reflexive pronouns look like. Then I will give you lots of examples, after which you will do a speaking exercise with me. I advise you to do the speaking exercise with me, as this is a good way of using the reflexive pronouns right away. Then there's a quick recap and a quiz. Make sure to take the quiz. It's a good way to recall what you just learned and reinforce it. Once you've taken the quiz, I will of course provide you with the correct answers. I would like to point out that in some languages, there's a difference between you, singular form, meaning one person, and the plural form of you, meaning several people, which is why I have added you twice, even though they use the same form in English. However, when it comes to reflexive pronouns, there is a difference in English as well. I will show you. I will now read the reflexive pronouns and I will make a super quick pause so you can repeat after me. Myself, yourself, himself, herself, oneself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, themselves. I will now show you examples of reflexive pronouns in sentences. Reflexive pronouns are pronouns that reflect back to the subject. She decided to reward herself with an ice cream. Herself reflects back to the subject she. He fell over and hurt himself. Himself reflects back to the subject he. I pour myself a cup of coffee every day. Myself reflects back to the subject I. Let me show you a couple of more examples. After a while, you will learn to control yourself. Yourself reflects back to you. Are you knitting something for yourself? Again, yourself reflects back to the subject you. About one and oneself. One is neutral, it's not specific to gender. But it's not a thing, it's a person. If you're talking about a thing, like a town for example, you would use it. Oneself refers to a subject's own person, meaning me or any person in general. I think this will be more clear once you've heard the examples. It's important to have good feelings about oneself. As you can see from this first example, oneself refers to people in general. It has nothing to do with gender. When working from home, one often talks to oneself. One needs to be sure of oneself. It's actually quite nice to live all by oneself for a bit. It's important to read it oneself. The idea of publishing a book oneself is overwhelming. To talk to oneself is the only way to guarantee complete agreement. It's actually quite rewarding to do something all by oneself. A quick note. Oneself is slightly more formal and not so common in everyday speech. Instead of oneself, most speakers use yourself. Now you can use reflexive pronouns to reflect back to the subject, as we've seen. Reflexive pronouns are also used for emphasis, to give special importance to someone or something. For example, we carve the butter knives ourselves, meaning no one else carved them for us. You could say we carved the butter knives. Full stop. That works too. Again, this is for emphasis. You want to point out that no one else carved them for us. I baked the birthday cake myself. I'm pointing out that I didn't buy it. Otherwise, I could just say, I baked the birthday cake. Means the same thing. You can do that yourself, meaning you do not need anyone else to do it for you. She cut her hair herself. That means she didn't let the hairdresser do it. She dressed herself even though it was hard due to her injuries. He's old enough to wash himself. Avalon itself is quite a small town in California. Itself refers to a thing, for example, a town. I want to draw your attention to the difference between the singular you, meaning one person, and the plural you, meaning several people. As you can see from the examples here, you, singular form, meaning one person, you can do that yourself. Notice the spelling. If I'm addressing two people or more, I would say you two need to wash the dishes yourselves. Again, notice the spelling. Therein lies the difference. A quick note to speakers of Swedish. Compare. She cut her hair herself. Hon klippte själv sitt hår. He's old enough to wash himself. Han är gammal nog att tvätta sig själv. Avalon itself is quite a small town in California. Itself syftar alltså på staden Avalon. One och man. Man på svenska inkluderar alla och är könsneutralt. Precis som one på engelska är. One needs to be sure of oneself. Man behöver vara säker på sig själv. Next up is the speaking exercise with me. I will read through the dialogue once, and then you will read it with me. Would you like a cup of coffee? No, thank you. I just poured myself a cup of coffee. Are you knitting something for yourself? No, I'm knitting this sweater for my mother. She doesn't have time to do it herself. Lovely. Did you bake the birthday cake yourself? Actually, my son and I baked it ourselves. What did you do afterwards? We decided to reward ourselves with some ice cream. Now, you read this with me. I'll start. Would you like a cup of coffee? Are you knitting something for yourself? Lovely. Did you bake the birthday cake yourself? What did you do afterwards? Well done. Recap. Now remember there's a difference between you meaning one person and you meaning several people. Use yourself for one person, yourselves for more than one person. Reflexive pronouns can reflect back. He pours himself a cup of coffee every day. It is also used for emphasis. We baked the birthday cake ourselves. We didn't buy it. About one. One is neutral. It's not specific to gender. One needs to be sure of oneself. On to the quiz. Figure out which reflexive pronoun to use where. I will give you a sec to think about this, and then I will give you the correct answers. Here are the correct answers. Now you can check yourself. If this is not super clear just yet, please go back and watch the video again. Now that you've learned more about the 9 reflexive pronouns, give yourself a pat on the back. I said yourself, as I'm speaking to you as one person who is watching this right now. Did I upload a useful video for you? If I did, please leave me a comment below and hit that subscribe button. And yes, remember to ring the bell so I can notify you when I've uploaded a new video. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time. Remember, repetition is key in learning. So perhaps watch the video again and share it.